I'm pressing the.
So we started the podcast what, like 2 minutes ago?
Yeah, we already started the podcast. The entire time, the front end is always like tech support, like this shit isn't working, motherfucker, goddamn son of a bitch.
I always wanted to be part of a fucking do it cold open.
Yeah,
it's only been your like what, fifth of one or something like that.
Yeah. Well, last time you were on, I think we had a tighter show. Like we didn't spend most of our time just bullshitting with each other. So,
well, in all fairness, he had a topic because I believe that was the Hamilton throwdown.
All right.
A couple times, right? There was like Hamilton and Pearl Jam. Like I think those like. I want to talk about the music I like, so let me go on your podcast.
Perfect.
And you started another podcast, and it has nothing to do with Pearl Jam. So, like, what the fuck, dude?
Well, not yet. Wait till they drop some Pearl Jam Funko Pops.
Oh my god, do they have that license? I
don't think so.
I bet they have the Kiss license. I bet you could get it.
Oh yeah, there are Kiss Funko Pops. There are already Kiss Funko Pops.
Can you get a Funko Pop Vinnie Vincent, which is
Probably.
a very deep Kiss cut?
Is that the other drummer before Peter Criss?
No, Eric Carr is the other drummer. Eric Carr was the raccoon. Vinnie Vincent was the Egyptian god with the ankh on his face.
Was that when the what's his face, the guitarist was like sick or something like that?
No, Ace left, so they got a new guitarist.
Oh, that's what it was. Yeah. Ace left. Okay. I couldn't remember his name. I was like, it's not the Star Child because I know that's Paul Stanley.
Yeah, no, it's Vinnie Vincent, and I think Vinnie Vincent was also during. I think they did a show with. I think he was without the makeup, but I think his makeup. I don't know. I've seen photos of him with that fucking ankh on his face, and it's terrible. And he's terrible, and he lasted an album ish. Next up on Kiss Talk.
Well, last week you guys were talking about Metallica, so it's just like whatever outdated rock band no one gives a shit about.
In all fairness, we were talking about Metallica because they're fucking morons.
Yeah,
like we do Pearl Jam.
On James' watch, is James vaccinated yet?
No. I haven't looked, and I feel pretty confident saying it. You heard it here first, kids. Fucking Do It Cast breaking news.
I saw a meme about James Hetfield earlier today, actually. It was him at a TSA checkpoint, and it said, haven't detected metal on this guy since 1989.
Oh. Oh, man.
The internet. You gotta love it.
What a fucking asshole. Okay.
I asked to be on the podcast. I texted Jamie. I was like, "You guys were blowing too much smoke up my ass last week, so I have to come correct and tell the truth about."
Were we fucking lying?
How important I'm not.
Did we fucking lie? No, it's not the fucking lying podcast. It's the fucking Do It podcast.
Exactly. Yeah. You know what, Jamie? Not only is he amazing, eloquent, but also humble. That's what we love about you, boss.
Yeah. Yeah. All right.
Actually, the real reason I'm on here is to hear more of that, like in person.
Can and will.
All right. I'm going to hit the intro button.
On YouTube.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have a controller button here, so like I hit it, it plays the video, and then we go into the thing. I don't edit this shit anymore like I used to. So, and we found out that it doesn't hear us talking over the intro. So that's good.
I see.
So like we'll play it and then we'll just curse out everybody. And Brandon doesn't know when I stop it. So he has to like time it. So he stops cursing out like people who listen to the podcast. And then, you know.
So me.
Yeah.
Yes, they don't hear me say, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You suck my dick like when no intro, but then as soon as the intro is over.
Hang on.
Yeah.
The intro is super over, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. The intro is over. Yeah. No, it's out. It's over.
Yeah, I think.
All right, Brandon, tell the people who we are.
In front of God, all of our listeners, and most importantly, the man of the hour, our boss among bosses. May he ride upon my shoulders to the top of a mountain where we may all bask in the glory that is Keith Chow.
The real Chow!
The head, dare I say, the beacon of light of the Hard Knock Media podcasting network, which he graces us with the ability to be part of so that we may huddle through the mud and bring you the bullshit of the internet that is the fucking Do-It-Cast. And have I mentioned that we're part of the Hard Knock Media podcasting network? Do you know why? Not because I'm great, I'm trash. It's a lot that Jamie's super good, but it's mostly because of one man. A great man. A beautiful man. Hey, dare I say, fucking looker. Keith Chow.
Yay!
Jamie.
Finally, the real Chow has come back.
Yes! To the fucking
That's what I'm talking about, man. Anytime I can make a motherfucker feel like Dwayne Johnson, that is a life goal. Just take it, breathe it all in. I want you to get deep in it. Just, that is good. That is good.
We need to rent a theater so we can play intros, not to fill it to capacity by any means, but just to have intros and have like people walking up on stage and just have that experience. Because like I know Keith's done like panels at Comic-Con and all that kind of shit, but you've never been talked up in front of a crowd on stage and like come out like that. So like we need to do a live version of our podcast just so we can bring Keith on.
Honestly, Jamie, we could have a whole corner section where you just have a bunch of audience members write like their first and last name, how to pronounce it, where they're from, and like 3 fast facts, and just let me just hit an intro on everybody. So this way they can just kind of come up, do the big kind of like, oh yeah, oh, it's good to be me. Like, damn right it is.
Pyro and smoke and
that would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean we're probably going to be indoors and it'll probably be at a convention center. So like even sparklers are going to be a lot, but like I might be able to pull out some like confetti poppers and maybe I'll see if I can find like one of those wackily inflatable arm flailing tube men, just kind of like blow up behind them.
Man, all right. So before we get into our usual bullshit, Keith, you just launched a new podcast. That has nothing to do with Pearl Jam. It sort of has something to do with Batman. But like I don't know why you asked to come on here. But I want you to talk about your podcast for a little bit, and then we'll get into our regular bullshit.
Got a dope theme song that I never told you I liked, apparently. But I did like it. I cut my own promo on top of it a couple weeks ago. We actually just dropped the first episode with a guy named William West, who is a fellow toy collector, former Diamond Comics employee like myself.
Ooh.
And we talked about, I don't know if you guys knew that about me. I used to work for the Empire.
The evil Empire. Is that how you're...
Yeah, do you want to pick that name up since you dropped it on the ground like that?
That I used to work for Steve Jeppy. I don't know if that's really a name drop so much as a anchor around my neck whenever I go to SPX.
Yeah. Is
that the diamond guy? Like, no.
Is that where your collecting started, or were you into this shit way before?
I was into the shit way before. Like, I actually got my job at Diamond because I used to write for a magazine called Toy Fair back in the early 2000s. Shit. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I actually started off my nerd career in toy journalism, as it were.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah. And that's why I just came full circle, because I said this on the podcast. I could finally talk about the thing I really care about. It's not diversity. It's not inclusion. It's not social justice.
Yeah, fuck all that
it's
shit.
Little 6-inch plastic action figures. Yeah. That's all I give a shit.
Plastic Justice Warrior in the house.
Like, literally, if you can see behind me.
Yeah, like, yeah. Do you have
but plastic Justice figures.
Do you have a favorite line of toys?
Right now, it's G.I. Joe Classified. It's the 6-inch kind of a reboot of the classic G.I. Joe figures. It's my favorite line, but it's also like the line that I hate the most because it's hard as shit to find. They're not in stores. Like, you go to Target and Walmart, which are the only places to buy toys nowadays in person, and they have pegs for them, but just empty pegs, like as far as the eye can see.
Do they have that opposite thumb, like the reversed thumb that they used to put on them so that like they could tell when people copied their designs?
Oh no, I don't even know about what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, so like when Hasbro was making these things, they put the thumb on backwards so that they could tell when people were bootlegging their shit.
I had no idea about that.
Yeah.
All I remember about the old 3 3/4 ones were the little O-rings inside the crotch, which kept their legs wobbly. But then because they were made out of rubber, they would eventually like degrade, and then your figures would never stand up again. But yeah, so the classified line are the 6-inch versions of those. But like I said, they're hard as shit to find. And then Target has a bunch of exclusives, which are even harder to find. And then like you have to buy them like $200 a pop on eBay if you wanted it. Yeah, one of the debates we get into on the podcast, this first episode of the podcast, which you can, I'm sure Jamie will drop a link in the description below. Yeah. But hint, hint. Well, the debate we get into is, and I don't know if this is jargon you guys are familiar with, but we talk about what is the more morally superior thing to do, figure swap or scalp figures. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, scalping, I think you understand. Like, you buy a figure that's really hard to find and then you jack up the price on eBay.
Yeah.
Figure swapping is you buy a figure that you want, you take out the figure you like, and then you put something else inside the package and return it to Walmart. Oh. Or if not the figure itself, like the accessory or the Build-A-Figure part that you want. And so we were trying to argue which is the actually more morally superior thing to do. Figure swap or figure scalp. both are terrible things to do, by the way. But I believe one is more righteous than the other.
Okay.
I'm broken.
I don't want to give it away. Like, I have.
And tune into the podcast, Shelf Conscious, if you want to find out the answer.
Right.
But I'm curious. I mean, you guys aren't really collectors. I mean, I think you're kind of, sort of collectors. But if you were faced with that quandary, if someone put a gun to your head and said, "You're either going to scalp this figure or you're going to swap this figure," what would you do? I mean, that's actually a shitty choice, because if like you put a gun to my head, I would do the thing that makes me money. What am I talking about? But
right, but hang on a second. God damn it! Now you're okay. Fine.
Now we have to get into it.
All right. Yeah, of course you scalp it, because at least you make money and the other person gets everything they fucking asked for.
They get the whole thing.
What sort of dick move are you doing to other collectors where you end up pulling one piece and then they feel like they got the thing and then they go to open it if they decide to do so, which might even be fucking worse for people who like to keep things in package, because also you're breaking the sacrilege of the package. Because you're doing some sort of fucking backdoor. Are you like steam opening packages and stuff like that and reapplying adhesive and all sorts of bullshit like that?
Oh, man.
Like, I assume you turn into fucking like full on Mission Impossible to get these things open.
Are you claiming I do this? I'm not saying I do this. I'm just saying.
No, I'm asking how one goes about doing this, because I get the idea that a Walmart employee doesn't give a fuck about you returning back an open toy.
Yeah.
And then them taping it. And then with that big packing tape gun, and then putting that bitch right back on the shelf and watching you, a collector, have your you see it from the aisle, and in a sea of empty pegs, there it is. And you're like, shit. And then you go over and then you grab it and then you look at it a second, and you're like, motherfucker. And then you realize this motherfucker has taken your joy.
Oh my
because
God.
now you're forced with a real life quandary. Do I buy the toy at retail and then go try and find someone else who's selling that secondary part aftermarket? Or do I live with an incomplete piece? And I imagine if you're a collector, that shit would eat at your soul.
Yeah. No, you go the scalping way, because that's bullshit. That's so fucking bullshit. That's like buying a gunpla kit, taking out the beam saber, putting it back together, and then that's some bullshit. No.
So what we landed on the podcast is that it's actually I think we both felt that figure swapping was more of an art form, because we've seen some fucked up shit in the stores. It's like there are some swaps where you grab the figure and you go, huh, interesting that you got away with this, sir. Touche.
Have you at least gotten some fun ones by response to that? Of like, you pick the thing up and you're like a special edition Ronald Reagan? I mean, it's not bad. It's fucking close.
Yeah. So I mean, because my thing is, I think as collectors, scalpers are worse, because they are the ones who are, because if you, at least you get like 3/4 of the thing you wanted, right? With scalpers, you don't get shit unless you give them like $300. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that, to me, is more a dick move than again, walking down the aisle, seeing someone has swapped a figure. And again, it sucks, but I go, who are you hurting other than like Walmart or Hasbro?
I suppose it depends on the price of the swap, because like if you're swapping like a little G.I. Joe and you get a Spider-Man instead of a Snake Eyes, but you get a Spider-Man with like a visor painted on, I mean, I will buy that from the store and be like, it's a special edition. But like if someone's swapping Hot Toys,
well, that's not happening.
That's bullshit. Like if you
there are certain things you can't swap, and that's I think sometimes the toy manufacturers know that figure swapping goes on, because like Hasbro, for example, like Marvel Legends, the Black Series, and all of those, like they come in like the easiest fucking packages to open. Like Black Series packaging, you don't even, to your point, Brandon, you don't even need to cut the tape. You can literally pull the plastic from the outside. Like you could do that shit in the store.
Yeah, I've seen.
I mean, Walmart. You're right. They don't give a shit, because I've been in Walmarts where like the fucking packages aren't even swapped; they're empty. They're just still sitting there on the pegs.
That's my thought process. Is like at that point, fuck it, just shoplift.
It's shoplifting, right?
Yeah.
Figure swapping is shoplifting.
Well, no. Figure swapping is candy ass shoplifting, because buying it and then bringing it back and hoping you get past the return people. Fucking have the nards to crack that fucking shell open in there, look back at the camera, be like, hey, fuck you, buddy, and then close that bitch back up and then stuff it right in your fanny pack. Like, don't even hesitate about it. Yeah. Eyeball the security guy on the way out. He's hourly. He don't give a fuck. He gets paid regardless.
Right. No, exactly. Right. You're right. Candy ass shoplifting is the other
candy ass shoplifting.
If you were really like, a serious figure swapper, right?
Like, because I used to do loss prevention forever ago when I worked at Kmart, and
this is why this gets your goat, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, because you know who the same people are who look for, like, when I hear people go like, fuck, I need these toys, I have to do this shit, all I think of are the awful Hot Wheels people. And I know the Hot Wheels people are a subgenre of subhuman that steal cars from children. Jamie, I've lined up people on a Saturday morning to crack open the new cases and literally had people trying to button line in front of actual children.
Oh my God.
Who just want the toy.
For little fucking cars? Jesus.
Yeah, dude. The market for that is ridiculous.
Yeah, Hot Wheels collect, and they're all, for some reason, 75 years old. I don't understand why Hot Wheels collectors are all like elderly men.
Because because they were terminally sad people in their 40s when they started getting popular, and they just happened to be 70 now.
But to the point you guys were talking about, I think a couple episodes back. Again, clearly I'm the only motherfucker.
Yeah, because I don't even remember what you're about to bring up.
I'm like deep cut at hour 157. You talked about Pokemon, like you and your daughter getting into Pokemon cards, right?
Yeah.
Like Targets are not selling Pokemon cards anymore.
Yeah, that market is
trading
fucked.
cards are crazy. Like to Brandon's point, there are like dudes going into Targets and Walmarts and like again, just wiping out the entire stock of trading cards. Because I guess in the pandemic, trading cards became valuable again. Because like I used to fucking collect basketball cards and football cards back in the day, and I have boxes of them right now that I could probably move for quite a bit of money.
Unload that shit, man. You got to upgrade our studio.
I'm surprised there's even a market.
What's that?
I said I'm surprised there's even a market because, to my understanding, like the bottom fell out of baseball cards.
Right. Well, it had, and during the pandemic, for whatever reason, people were. I mean, Pokemon cards in particular, right? Pokemon cards are crazy expensive right now. Like there was a story about how like there's was a CGC or something who grades the mintness of your card.
Are they grading cards now?
Yeah, they're overwhelmed by just the volume of people sending in their Pokemon cards to get graded. So no, it's just everything sucks. But I as a collector who wants to buy shit and not have to pay scalper prices for them, I hate scalpers more than I hate figure swappers. Because I think the other kind of joy I get from seeing a figure has been swapped is that at least I know, that was available. Because the shit I can only buy on eBay, I've never even seen it in the wild.
That's
what I mean?
Funny.
Like, never once have I seen a Beachhead G.I. Joe figure in the wild.
Oh my God.
And if I saw one that was missing a part, I would still, like, buy that shit just because it's so. I could probably still make like $150 on it because here's 3/4 of a Beachhead that no one can find. So I do both. I figure swap and then scalp it. Double down.
So let me ask you a question. If you find yourself, let's say, in a return line at a Target, and the person in front of you is returning a figure, and you can see the second the Target employee flips it around in your direction, it's missing something, do you say anything? Or do you just do you take a photo of this person to know what they look like? Do you spread them or do you dox this person? Like, how does this work? How's it work in the community?
Snitches get stitches, baby.
Please. I'm not trying to typecast anybody. Like, you're probably one of the few dudes who'd throw down who collect toys, but I've been to many a con. I feel real confident calling somebody out in a Target line that I'm not going to get fucking just forearm shivered for calling somebody. I'd be like, hey, by the way, not for nothing, that Green Lantern, he's missing that extra leg that builds the ridiculous figure or whatever it is. You should probably say something about that.
Oh yeah.
Just watch a dude stare back at you like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Take your figure and go home?
Oh man.
Sorry, I've inconvenienced you.
Are there any toy lines, like indie toy lines, that you wish more people knew about?
Indie toy. Oh man, now I'm sounding like a fucking Chad, because all I collect are like the. I don't collect independent toy lines, man. Like other than your like puppy cow, I have your puppy cows.
Yay! It's not really a line. It was just one and done.
I don't usually slum it with the indie toys, except for yours, Jamie. 10 out of 10. Huh? Yeah.
No, I will say there is a line called, I think it's called Amazing Heroes. Yeah, Amazing Heroes. I have one down here at the bottom. I don't know if you can see. It was like all of the Golden Age like superhero characters, and the only one I have is the Green Turtle, which Gene Yang kind of retconned to be an Asian American superhero character. Let me grab it. Hold on.
Yeah, I remember that book coming out. Like
this is a Kickstarter figure.
Yeah,
that's cool. And so like anything that was I guess in the public domain that they didn't have to get a license for. Although I don't think Madman's in the public domain. I don't know how they were able to get that license. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
All Red was just like, sure.
Yeah, I know, right? And I have I can't get, it's actually in the case, but I have a Larry Hama Kickstarter figure.
Oh, cool.
As well. Yes, I mean, there are actually a bunch of lines that aren't just licenses. There's a line called Mythic Legions, which is pretty cool, which I don't collect, but I think it's cool. They're kind of like, I don't know, off-brand He-Man figures. Like, you can tell they're takes on, like, Beast-Man or Hordak or whatever, but they're not quite. So they're just off just enough that you can kind of appreciate them.
Like the Sucklord stuff where he takes resins and just kit bashes some bullshit together.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
And there was another line. Oh shit, I don't remember what they're called off the top of my head. They did like a line of 6-inch ninja figures. What are they called? Hold on. Articulated icons. They were cool. For the longest time, they had this white ninja that was basically Storm Shadow.
Why gotta
it was
be
the
white?
Closest you could get to like white clad ninja.
Oh, okay.
It looked like Storm Shadow. And you could get like a special bonus pack that gave him bare arms, so he would look even more like Storm Shadow. And if you bought like a little decal off eBay, you could stick a little Cobra logo on it. That was before they actually made a 6-inch G.I. Joe line. So yeah, I like the off-brand ones that are kind of like, not quite bootleg to your point figures, but still in their own way, like really cool things. So yeah, Mythic Legions, Articulated Icons are two cool lines.
That sounds pretty rad. What is your Cadillac? Like what is the highest end toy that, like, if you had that on your shelf, you would be like, you would just throw all the other toys off the shelf and like put that there?
I have some high end shit. Let me get out the way a little bit. Like that's a Michael Keaton Hot Toy on the top.
So is Hot Toy right like the Cadillac of your? Yeah.
Anytime you pay $300 for a toy or an action figure,
and it's an action figure. It's not a toy.
Yeah, it's whatever. And there's a glare, but there's also a Mandalorian Hot Toy that's behind that glare on the second shelf right there.
Nice.
So yeah, those are my Cadillacs. I actually I tried for the longest time to avoid the Hot Toys rabbit hole because again,
it's so good.
Who wants to drop like $250, $350 on toys, right? Because the Batman, I never paid for it. That was my uncle gave it to me in Hong Kong, and I got to visit like the Hot Toys headquarters in Hong Kong a couple years ago, which was amazing.
The Iron Man that they make.
I think didn't we talk about this in a previous episode? I thought,
like with me.
Yeah. We talked about it. Yeah. Well, I didn't know if there was like something above Hot Toys.
I mean, I think Hot Toys is the cream of the crop when it comes to like. Oh well, you know what? There was they just revealed a couple weeks ago I think a 16-inch self-transforming Optimus Prime. Like, and it's like $1,400 or some shit.
Oh damn!
I'm like, who is this for? Who's dropping $1,400?
Does he automatically open his chest with the Matrix, or do you have to?
I don't know. He's got the Matrix, but he definitely like transforms himself, and it makes the the transforming noise that you talk about in the song, and he talks with Peter Cullen's voice.
Nice.
So I mean, it's a dope toy, but let that shit drop down to like $100, and then maybe I'll think about it.
That shit ain't dropping to $100. You'll find one on eBay for $100. It's some kid 3D printed that shit and put like an Arduino and like, transformed it himself and shit.
Yeah, but I fell down the Hot Toys rabbit hole last year. This was like at the very beginning of the pandemic, and Sideshow was doing like if you buy one, get $15 off the second one. And I was like, huh.
Ooh, $15.
$15. All I got to do is spend $575. That's a deal. So I got Mando, and then the other one that's coming in a few months is Harley Quinn from Birds of Prey with the caution tape.
Oh yeah,
outfit.
That's awesome.
And she comes with an egg sandwich. That's the reason I bought her. So I wanted a 1/6 scale.
That's worth $300
sandwich.
Like,
I think so.
For real, that one's worth $300.
And I got a little Grogu out of it.
Yay! So did they ever make a Cara Dune Hot Toy? Did they ever?
I think they canceled. cancel culture out of control. They canceled the Cara Dune. Although, full disclosure, if you saw my Mandalorian shelf in the back, there is a little Cara Dune back there. Don't let anyone know about that. Hope no one's listening to this podcast. But I do own.
Well, if it's anything like the other episodes, no one is.
But, full disclosure, I bought her at the time when everyone thought it was cool to have Gina Carano on The Mandalorian. And then the folks who are now like her biggest backers hated the fact that she was on the show
it's a
2 years ago, which is ironic.
It's a weird turn. It's a weird flippy floppity. It's everything's awful, but yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Brandon, what have you been geeking on since last we talked with each other?
What have I been geeking on? Really, a whole lot of nothing. I've just been working like a maniac. Oh, you know what? No, you know what I'm geeking out on? Getting a vaccine and being able to see friends in person. I hugged people. Like, voluntarily, and no one was upset about it. And then I got to embarrass a one Dan Malahome by singing Happy Birthday, maybe the loudest I ever have. And it was a hell of a lot of fun. And then got a chance to hang out with a bunch of other rad people on Sunday.
Yeah.
So I had a full weekend of hanging out with friends and celebrating relationships and friendships. And it was fucking delightful.
Mm-hmm. And you got to watch Bouldering World Cup finals.
Yes.
You're like, what the fuck am I watching?
You know what? I'm super. As someone who has literally been asked to calm down for watching curling in a Buffalo Wild Wings, I can appreciate the idea of a bunch of us getting together and watching bouldering. Like, at least there's some real action going on with yours. I was shouting at a screen because a Canadian was pushing a broom with accuracy, and I was mad.
Hold! Paw!
Yeah.
Can I be a dummy and ask what is bouldering?
Ooh, well, it's a climbing thing. Instead of climbing with a rope, you climb without a rope, and you go maybe 10, 13 feet.
I thought it's like 20 feet.
Well, 20 feet if you're doing high fall bouldering, which is very dangerous. But in the cave, it usually tops out at 10 to 13 feet, and there are. We call them problems in climbing because instead of just using brute force to go up a thing, you have to kind of solve the problem with different ways to move. There's different ways to hold things. There's different ways to use their feet. But you go from the bottom to the top, and that's it. That's the goal. That's the goal. It's very easy to figure out who's good at it and who isn't. Did you make it up? Yay. Did you make it up? No. Well, then you fucking suck. And so that's bouldering. And it's going to be part of the Olympics if they're still having them. There's going to be climbing for the first time in the Olympics. And it's 3 disciplines. Bouldering, which is climbing without a rope. Sport climbing, which is climbing with a rope and clipping in as you go along. And those routes go from like 50, 70, 100 feet sometimes. And then speed climbing, which is a wall with the same holds on both sides, and you just go up as fast as you fucking can. And I think like it's the same route, so everyone can practice it. And I think like the world record is something stupid like 6 seconds or some shit like that. But they go like 50 feet in 6 seconds. It's just
It's like the last course on American Ninja Warrior when you have to just zoom up a wall, right?
Except their holds. In the Ninja Warrior, it's just stemming up that fucking chimney, and it's just wow.
Yeah, good luck with the Olympics, though. I don't think that's happening.
Yeah. I
mean, Japan is
stubborn,
determined.
Yeah,
and I almost feel like they're going to hold it even if no other countries show up, just so they can be like, look at all the gold medals we won in 2020.
You know we're showing up.
Yeah,
there ain't no way we're not showing up. 100% we're showing up. You kidding me?
Yeah.
The chance to show up with no one else there and spank a bunch of other people. Fuck that. That's great. Oh no, we won't have to compete against England, who usually comes 9th. Whatever are we gonna do?
Yeah. Bouldering is interesting to watch. It's much more interesting than sport climbing, because sport climbing, you kind of like, you're watching a person clip in and go up, and unless you're familiar with how difficult some of the moves are, it's hard to tell. Speed climbing is just a race, so that's always fun. But of the three disciplines, I feel like if you're gonna show somebody new who doesn't know anything about climbing, I feel like a bouldering competition is the most interesting thing you're gonna get, because you got like little kids jumping from one end of the thing to another end of the thing. You got people like folding their bodies in half and like going upside down and sticking their legs into shit and like holding on to things with just their pinky and stuff. So this could be the climbing.
And that's
podcast.
what you were doing this weekend?
That's what we were watching.
We were watching.
Oh, you were watching it. I see. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll make
This is what Dan Mellon wanted to do for his birthday.
yeah. We'll make Keith go last in the geeking out segment. I have been watching car building shows on Netflix.
Yeah.
So this one hooked me. It's called Car Masters from Rust to Riches, and the premise is
Oh God.
These
shows are so bad.
It's terrible. They trade up we're trading up to get a 6-figure car. So they start with a beater and they put in this money to get like a $20,000 car. Then they trade that up to like a $40,000 to $50,000 car, and they take that car and they turn that into like another car and trade that up into a car that they will eventually be able to sell for 6 figures.
It's basically the premise is the cat that ate the rat that ate the
Yeah.
but done in Vegas.
Yeah.
If memory serves.
Yeah.
And with a series of bad choices and with and this is the trope that happens because I am very much in this genre of car shows that if we don't sell this ride, we're going to lose the shop.
We're gonna lose the shop.
We're going to lose the shop.
So you've
if
seen
we don't
this.
sell this car in 10 days, we're going to lose the shop.
So you've seen this show that I'm talking about.
Jamie, there's like 9 shows that are like this. Like, I will give you my Motor Trend pass so that you can watch good car building shows that make fun of these shows. Where literally they're stuck on the side of the highway, broken down because they decided to repair an old piece of shit and drive it out of a junkyard.
Yeah.
Just for fun to road trip it. And they're like on the side of the highway and the thing's overheated for like the 9th time. They're like, David, if we don't get this car running, we're going to lose the shop. And he's like, well, it's a good thing that we don't have a shop because this thing's kind of screwed. So I guess we'll just walk then.
Yeah, I don't know why I like this stuff because I don't know shit about cars.
Because you like Forged in Fire.
I do love Forged in Fire.
It's exactly the same thing.
It is.
This premise of faux drama and people doing some sort of mechanical work, and you don't have to watch it very seriously.
Yeah.
You can work and then peer up to it and go, it's kind of neat, and then go back to what you're doing. Then all of a sudden there'll be some shouting between two people. You'd be like, oh, that guy's an asshole. And then right back to what you're doing.
Yeah. Me and Hazel watch Forged in Fire every weekend. Like when we sit down and we eat lunch and we watch people make knives.
I genuinely want to give you my Motor Trend login just so that you can watch old episodes of Orange County Choppers.
Oh, I love that
Just
show.
this way
I
you
used to
can
love that
watch-
show.
See? Right.
I think they need to bring back Pimp My Ride.
Oh my God.
What's Exhibit doing nowadays? He's not doing anything.
Nothing, but have you ever seen any of that sort of thing like happen?
Like in person?
No, like the post of all of that stuff
Oh,
and like, all the
afterwards.
stories about
No.
the cars and oh yeah, so like the whole thing obviously was like very staged.
Yeah.
But like most of the cars were unusable and then they basically just hand you the keys and shuffle you out the door. So like
So you're telling me a
one of
Humvee
the-
with a 90-gallon aquarium isn't street legal? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm telling you that MTV didn't just do this as a fun thing and then hand somebody the keys to a slightly used Chevy Cavalier and give them a proper vehicle and send them on their way. What I'm saying is they did all this work And then instead of taking the stuff back out and then just junking the old car and handing them a new, they handed them the keys and then told them to leave and made them sign liability waivers that if anything else broke on the vehicle that they worked on, they couldn't be held liable or get sued.
MTV, man.
Yeah, like, and I found this out, a lot of this, because one of the car shows that I watch on YouTube, the guy literally bought one of the old Pimp My Ride vans as a joke for one of the other buddies, and they tried to get the thing running enough. Like, this is the one that had, like, the full, I think it was, like, the full dance club lounge with, like, the chandelier up top and everything.
Oh, nice.
And, like, literally the guy bought the thing and then spent, like, I think he spent, like, an additional $3,000 or $4,000 in just wiring to get, like, the TV on the floor to work again and all sorts of shit like that.
You know what I would watch? HBO Max needs to do this. I'm going to give you a free idea, HBO Max. You need to do a show called Bat My Ride, where people just bring in whatever cars they have and you just turn it into a Batmobile. I would watch that. You come in with a Mini Cooper, or a Humvee, or whatever the fuck you drive, a Honda Accord, doesn't matter.
And it's got to be different eras of Batmobile too, and it's got to be Batmobiles from the comics, Batmobiles from the shows, concept art Batmobiles, all that shit.
There you go.
I think you could also even play with the other vehicles, like the old Joker panel van or the truck from like Batman and Robin and stuff like that, and like really play with some of the it's like Schumacher's films had ass vehicles in them.
You mentioned Hot Wheels earlier today. Do you remember, like, I don't know if you remember this, when I was a kid, there was a little, like, Superman car, like a little Matchbox Hot Wheel car that had little fists on the front. Do you remember that? I want a Superman car. I want a Supermobile with the fists in the front. That's what I want.
Nice.
Yeah. Off to eBay.
Literally Soup My Ride.
Soup My Ride.
Keith, besides launching more fucking projects, what have you been geeking on?
Well, there's a show on Netflix that we just finished watching called Shadow and Bone.
Ah, yeah.
And I'm not usually like huge on like YA fantasy shows, right? Like Hunger Games and whatnot. This is based on a YA fantasy. But what's really cool about this show is that of all the leads, like there's like 8 leads and 6 of them are people of color.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The main
lead is an Asian woman. Her love interest is a half Asian man. There's another like South Asian woman and then one of the side casts. And it's really fucking good. And what's cool is that the character in the books wasn't Asian at all.
Yeah.
But it isn't just a palette swap where they just, okay, we're just going to make her Asian and then not address it at all. So they really kind of like redid the story to fit. And it's a good show. We just finished watching I think 8 episodes of it like in one weekend.
Yeah,
and
it's really fun.
I'm really digging it. It's like, you know, you were talking about this last week. Asian Americans, or this is a British show, but like Asian people are having a moment in Hollywood and on the pop charts, like the fucking Linda Lindas. I'm geeking out about the Linda Lindas.
I love them.
I don't know if you saw it. There are these like 12-year-old girls who went viral with a song called "Racist Sexist Boy," and they're a legit punk band. They're doing punk. They're not just doing like, you know, 311 bullshit.
They got signed. They got signed.
And they got signed by Epitaph.
Yeah.
They got signed by Epitaph Records. Their dad, one of the lead singer, her dad is Martin Wong, who was the co-founder of Giant Robot.
Oh, fuck. So,
dude,
that's awesome.
Yeah, Eloise Wong. She's the lead singer on the bass.
That's fucking
awesome. Her dad is Martin Wong. And I've seen them on Facebook for like years. You know, like he would post like, here's my daughter's band, her little punk band.
That's so dope.
And to see them blow up is really awesome. Because I think, I've always wanted to ask Martin this. I'm pretty sure they're named, I don't know how familiar you are with Japanese punk. There was a band in the 80s called the Blue Hearts.
Yeah, and there was a movie.
And I'm pretty sure.
There was a movie, a coming-of-age movie in Japan called Linda, 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 about high school girls performing at their senior year like talent show. And they sing Linda, Linda from the Blue Notes, but they call themselves Paranmam, which is Korean for Blue Note because their lead singer is Korean.
Blue Heart.
And she's Korean. She starred in The Host. She was like one of the leads in The Host.
Sense8. She's Duna Bay was the Korean girl in that movie. Yeah, so I'm pretty like 99.9% sure. Because it's a little teenage girls playing punk music. They're either named after the movie, which is named after the song from the 80s, what my wife loves. So yeah, it's just wild that Asian Americans are kind of like ending AAPI Heritage Month with like dominating the pop charts with the Linda Lindas and getting signed to Epitaph. That's what's fucking cool. Like,
yeah.
I wish I got signed to Epitaph when I was 13 years old. You know what I'm saying?
Were you in a rad punk band, Keith?
I was in an emo band when I was in high school.
He's one of the Hanson brothers, Jamie.
You didn't recognize me without the haircut. No, I was a drummer.
You were a drummer?
I played the drums.
Keith,
I played the drums.
Keith, if you were a drummer, you will always be employed in a band.
Well,
every band needs a drummer.
Not this guy. I think you said that on the pod once upon a time, and I was like, nope, not me. I was mowing the lawn. I remember those days.
Yeah, man. But you're not playing anymore. That's why.
Well, that's true. I stopped.
You stopped. College. The bands didn't stop calling. You stopped. Every band in every music sheet, every call window or board, it's always needed drummer. Do you play guitar? Get the fuck out. Needed drummer. Do you play bass? Who cares? Our guitar player plays bass. Drummer. DJ drummer.
You know what it is? Because no one gives a shit about the drummer. Look at like Pearl Jam was like Spinal Tap in real life, right? Like they went through literally 7 drummers.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Are you sure this isn't Spinal Tap just putting up multiple banners and just not bothering to take the old one down? It's just one band just constantly looking for a new drummer?
Look, all I know, everyone you know plays guitar. Everyone can play guitar. A guitarist can play bass, but a guitarist and a bassist may not be able to play drums. Johnny Shryout can play everything because he's a fucking monster, but that's Johnny. That's Johnny. Not everyone is Johnny. You could be in
I sometimes I do wish I wish I was in I don't wish I was in high school now because it would really suck to be in high school now.
Awful. Fuck.
When I was in high school and we were making demos on 4-tracks.
Yeah.
Right.
Hell yeah.
That was hard as shit to do. Now kids are like plugging in right into their iPhone and they have like they can put their shit on Apple Music and Spotify. Like tomorrow, where we were like shopping around demos to all like the local clubs.
Yeah.
Trying to get a show, trying to get a tape.
Whatever you're filming on, you can record a demo on that. You can upload it to DistroKid. You can get it on Apple Music and Spotify and every music service like fucking Prime Music. My shit is all over the place and I don't know what I'm doing. You could do that, Keith. You could. It's never too late to play music.
I'm just saying, it's so easy. We booked. I was like 19 years old. We booked studio time in a studio in Richmond, Virginia, and like we paid like $500 total, right? And we got like 4 hours, and it was like, and then there was shit like the tape that we got. It was a tape too. Like we didn't even make a CD. We made a tape, and and then we had a 4-track recorder that we used in our buddy's garage to make our demo tapes. It was like. It was hard, man, doing shit without the internet back in the day.
Shit, man. No, you should do it. You should just do it now. The Hard Knock Life should have its own band.
There you go.
Brandon plays drums.
Play the drums.
You can play drums. We'll have a 2-drum band. Be like Genesis.
Worst case, man. I'll sit out and play something else. I got the kit here, and I got the fancy kit that'll upload right to fucking Spotify and all the other bullshit.
Oh, do you have like an electric drum set?
Yeah. And it's got full integration.
I'm trying to convince my wife to let me get an electric drum set.
It's quiet.
I won't make any noise.
Yeah, you could play at night. Fuck it.
Yeah. Hey, just put your headphones on. It'd be easy.
Well, you live in Towson, right, Brandon? I'm like down the street. I might just come over and rock.
Just come over.
I'm fully vaxxed.
I'll give you a key. Yeah, dude, I'll give you a key. Just the fiance's here all day. She works from home now. Just shoot her a little text. She'd be like, hey, by the way, you hear some tapping in the basement. I'm just stopping by. I'll be sure to give the dog a biscuit. And just, you're good. Just come on in, high five the Seuss, give him a bone. He'll roll out back on a couch. Come on down to the office. Tap away, man. Rock and roll.
Oh, but speaking of which, I never got a chance to say this to you in person, but I think you and your fiance and I are now linked in forever because you proposed in Luray, Virginia, which is where I was born. I am of the soil.
I know.
of Luray,
Yeah.
Virginia. You were talking about the Mimsland on this fucking podcast, and I'm like, the Mimsland? Who the fuck talks about the Mimsland on a podcast? I grew up there. I was like the last baby born in Luray. After 1977, they got rid of their like pediatric ward.
That's it. Right.
They broke the mold. I literally broke the mold.
Nice.
There are no other.
So is the restaurant still there? Because I couldn't remember the name of it, and I thought, okay, cool, all right. Yeah. So I feel less bad. I was driving home, and I was like, shit, I forgot to text him and ask, and then I was like, it's not like it's terribly far away. Like I can easily go back, but
yeah, no, my family's restaurant's long gone, but no, I am of that soil. So you got down on one knee.
The soil.
That's the soil I'm from. So
hell yeah, and honestly, I'd go back just for the garlic knots. Fuck the memories or anything else. The hiking's great and all. Those garlic knots are life-changing, kids. Life-changing.
That's the name of the band.
That's where like proms used to be. I don't know if they still have proms there at the Mimsland, but that's where
I think so. Yeah, I mean they talked about it a bit, but like they were very good about kind of keeping everything separated or whatever it is. Like we did everything online, and they literally like texted us a code to be able to get in through the door, and everything was touchless and very kind and fairly priced, and like I have zero complaints. A great getaway.
Garlic knots.
Hooray for Luray.
Garlic knots at the Mimsland. Right. That's the name of the band.
No, I think it's Il Vesuvio. I think was the place, but it's basically directly across from the Mimsland. But yeah, so you go ahead, get yourself married there, and then just walk down the hill and go get yourself some knots.
Get them knots.
Wait, so is there a restaurant? There's a restaurant across from the Mimsland. That's
yeah.
Restaurant.
Yes.
See, when I was growing up, that was a Tasty Freeze.
That's what it looks like. It looks like
really?
If you had to because it looks like it used to be a Dairy Queen.
Yeah, it was a Tasty. When I was a kid, that place was called Tasty Freeze.
Aww.
Right,
and that's where
they turned it into a very what looks like shoestring budget Italian restaurant that somehow they've got some chef back there that is performing goddamned magic. Like I went in the second because like I had it delivered the first day because like we were just exhausted and everything, and I called them. They were like, yeah, we'll drive it up the hill, don't worry about it, just stay where you're at. And I was like, cool, thanks. And then the second day I was like, you know what, I'm gonna pop down there because I wanted to like properly tip them as well. And like I walked in and the place was empty because pandemic, and like a couple people were like randomly coming in, and I BS with the lady for easily like 10 minutes. I was like, hey, by the way, not for nothing, we were thinking about going other places, and we said screw it, and we ordered this twice. I won't eat another meal in this town that doesn't come from your restaurant. There, I said it. It's
so even if my family had a restaurant there, it wouldn't matter because we don't sell garlic knots.
Look,
don't worry.
I will break a rule for a family. Like I'm good with
family.
Well, you did say last week I owed you guys some Chinese food.
Yeah.
We've been talking about that for some time. Aren't your parents supposed to fucking yell at me or something like that in the backyard?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
You were gonna forge some sort of like giant wood burning oven or something in the back, right? Or a giant wok.
Man, I can
put a giant wok in the back.
I would say I can get a propane burner like that sets up, and one of those big I'll drive. I work in Beltsville. Restaurant Depot is like right down the street. I'll easily throw a few.
Get one of them proper woks
without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Something where I got to stir with a paddle. I got to get into that shit.
Yeah. Oh fuck. We still need to do that. We need
now
to
Jamie
do that.
wants to come over my
shit. We're doing that this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what?
Everybody else is doing.
2 years ago was my mom's 70th. This week. 2 years ago, where you guys took photos at the restaurant back in the before times.
Back in the before times. That was a good fucking time.
Yeah,
I know you guys did a whole podcast about it.
What else are we gonna do?
Yeah, what else do we got going on in our lives, man? Shit.
Also, like, how often do we get, because like Jamie had a new experience, I had a really new experience. How are we not going to talk about that?
Brandon,
delightful hospitality in an entirely new environment. Like
Brandon had never been to the Chinese restaurant, like fancy meal.
Like, what is it, banquet Chinese
he's
banquet?
never been to a banquet. Like he's never been to Empress in China in San Francisco. Like that was his first thing.
The steamed chicken with the head on top.
Like authentic.
Yeah.
Like I had to experience different things. Like, how the fuck do I know this? Because like any other, like we talked about this, like any other Mo, when I order Chinese food, I order the stuff that I recognize off the menu. Occasionally I get a little adventurous, but like not going and branching myself out that way, not without somebody else to help me.
Yeah.
Like somebody else has got to be like, hey, you should really try this thing. I'll be like, all right, yeah, cool, no problem. But without that, no, I don't know what the fuck to order.
Restaurant Sherpa.
You know what? That's what we need to resurrect, because we talked about this way back when. You need to write what Jamie said, a restaurant Sherpa. As we all come out of the pandemic, you need to find yourself a friend who is also vaccinated, and you need to restaurant Sherpa them to something they've never been to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You owe it to all your friends that you were texting during the pandemic. You were like, oh my God, when we see each other, we should hang out. Please don't make that a hangout at Chili's. Do better.
Do better. Do better than Chili's. All right, we got.
Yeah.
Oh, go for it.
What do you got?
Oh, what do
you got?
We have a topic. I have to play the mid roll. I'm playing the mid roll. Here we go.
It's gonna be a long one. I got to get up real early tomorrow, so let's try and wrap this up pretty quick.
This will be quick. So Keith, we're getting an Asian Snake Eyes. Keith, we're getting Shang-Chi. I feel like a lot of these things are due to you saying it loudly on the Nerds of Color blog. What is the next thing that you want to occur? Let's put it out there in the air. Let's put it out there in the wild so that when it happens, people remember to fucking credit you.
Okay, so this is why I wanted to come on, because I wanted to squash this like right away. And I do not have the power that Jamie Noguchi claims that I do.
False, sir. False.
I think Asian representation is a mistake. There is too much now. We need to back up a little bit, and you know, when there's like reality shows of like rich Asians like being dumb on HBO Max is when we've made a step too far. Have you seen Houses of Ho on HBO Max, or what is the other one, Bling Empire or something? Bling. Here's my problem. Why is it called Bling Empire and not Bling Dynasty? If you're going to do a show about rich Asians, you don't call it Bling Empire. I would have much more respect for you if you called it Bling Dynasty.
What you don't want to do, coming from the bearded white guy in the room, is compare anything to a reality show that involved people with way too much money and the name Dynasty. The comparison is Duck Dynasty, and you want no part of that backwood shit.
I'm just saying the pun would have worked better, is all I'm saying.
No argument, but I have to. Someone somewhere pitched your idea, and somebody else went, are you sure you don't want to move away from that? Like, just in case?
The Bling era, I could be era. Like, they have the Heisei era, the Showa era, the Reiwa era. Mm.
Yeah.
That's a little deep.
No, but I appreciate you attributing so much of the push for Asian representation on me. I mean, I stand on the shoulders of other people, right? And,
right, for sure.
But I think you're right that like 5 years ago there was a turning point, and I think the Nerds of Color was at the front. I don't know that we were leading the charge, but we definitely, with the Iron Fist stuff, with the other thing that happened since your podcast is Kevin Feige had a revelation. That,
I saw that fucking shit.
One, that you can actually film sunsets in camera and not need CGI, and like mind blown. Like, Chloe Zhao, how did you do this?
It's called a lens. It's called a sunset. Fuck you. It's called time.
I pointed my camera at the beach.
I'm a professional now. It's called golden hour, bitch.
And his second revelation was maybe we shouldn't have cast Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One.
Maybe you should have had some Asian people on staff, motherfucker.
Like, yeah, we said that 5 years ago. But no, I there was a lot of stuff happened all at that time in 2016, because that's when we got, you know, Ancient One and Iron Fist and Ghost in the Shell, and like I think it just reached a not a turning point, but a breaking point, right? Like,
yeah, this
shit has been going on for generations, and it just took people to say, like, it's kind of fucked up, right? And now we're seeing the fruits of that labor. So it's not just me. So I would not tell Henry Golding that he needs to thank me for his job. He has to thank John Chu, because John Chu made a dope G.I. Joe movie, which you guys got wrong last week. The robot suits is the first movie. Dwayne Johnson is all over the second fucking movie. Like, the whole movie is his movie. The guy who has a cup of coffee at the beginning is Channing Tatum. They killed Duke in the beginning of G.I. Joe Retaliation.
That's right.
But he's roadblocking. The second movie is a great movie. It is like my favorite movie. It's better than, you know, Casablanca. It's like the best movie of all time.
That's not fucking hard. Casablanca sucks. Set a higher bar.
Or whatever.
Pick a fast movie.
Godfather. Fast and Furious 9. It's better than Fast and Furious 9. But no,
you're calling your shot right now. Wait. Time out. Here on this podcast, you're calling your shot now that G.I. Joe 2 is better than the Fast movie that we've all yet to see.
Yeah. G.I. Joe 2 is better than most movies. Are you kidding me? It's better than The Dark Knight. It's better than Godfather 2.
It's better than the Snyder Cut.
All of those sequels, all the sequels that are better than the originals.
Please,
G.I. Joe
I beg of you. I want you to just fucking at every major director
and
talk about in a thread. And just get after them about how G.I. Joe is so much better.
It's better than your movie.
It's
better than your movie. It's better.
Just at Christopher Nolan, just nonstop.
Oh yeah.
Just be like, hey, look, color in a background. How about that?
You can hear dialogue.
G.I. Joe Retaliation. You know what I love about G.I. Joe Retaliation, honestly, is that they were able to take the bullshit from the first movie, because the first movie has zero to do with G.I. Joe. Mm-hmm. Like zero. Like, they're in robot suits, right? Like, there's no G.I. Joes in robot suits.
There were, but they weren't. They were bigger. The robot suits were like coffins with arms.
I'm a little like pissy about that first G.I. Joe movie, because I had a story in Secret Identities where the guy wore robot suits, but that's a whole other thing. That looked a lot like the robot suits they wore in G.I. Joe and G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra. That's all. I'm just saying.
I feel like your artist should sue a motherfucker for stealing their design.
Maybe. Like, I used to anyway. But they were able to take all that bullshit, like Joseph Gordon-Levitt's Cobra Commander or whatever.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And still make a movie that's set in that continuity, but give us the G.I. Joe shit we've always wanted. There's a water moccasin in G.I. Joe Retaliation. They do silent interlude in G.I. Joe Retaliation, where there's like a 20-minute block in the middle of the movie where there's zero dialogue, and it's just Snake Eyes and Elodie Young climbing a mountain and killing ninjas for 20 minutes.
Storm Shadow, Jinx.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't care about any of that. It's got the RZA.
And the RZA is the Blind Master. Come on, what more? How is that not the greatest movie of all time?
So what you're saying, Keith, is your next call to arms is to just re-release that movie and give us the proper cut of that movie in the theater. Is that
release the Chew cut?
Release the Chew cut.
Yes. Hashtag restore the Chewverse. No, actually, I don't want to restore the Chew.
Hear me out.
But we get restore the Chewverse with Asian Snake Eye.
What if we have a redo where RZA takes on Tilda Swinton's role?
I'd be down.
I'd be down for that. I would be down for that.
Like, we fix all of that with just letting RZA just recast it.
Yeah.
And we just do RZA on a sound stage. So it just
like it's real
janky when we
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, we just redo it, just let him just kind of ad-lib most of the lines. Like, he can read the script, but only 40 seconds before he's on film.
Yo, Benedict.
He does a line.
He just does Bobby Digital lines the entire time. That's all I need.
Yo, Benedict. Yeah. Oh, that's not his name? Fuck it, Benedict.
Yeah. Yo, come bun, bong bong.
So I just wanted to clear the air, correct the record, I guess, and just say that it's not.
You're too afraid to call the next thing? Is that what you're saying?
Too afraid.
Like,
to call
we already covered. Well, here's the thing: we already covered right out of the gate that you're way too humble. I knew you wouldn't take credit for what we all know you did, so that's fine. But you won't even call your shot. What's the next thing?
I mean, what do I want? I mean, I have everything I want. I have an Agent of Snake Eyes. I don't like literally. You can whitewash every role for the rest of time. Henry Golding is Snake Eyes. That's all I need. I gotta think about that. Let's see. What do I want? I don't know what I want.
It could also be what you don't.
Another G.I. Joe sequel.
It also could be what you don't want. Like, never make an Aikido movie. Fucking never. Please stop. No. It's been in development hell. Leave it in development hell.
For a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not big on like anime like live action versions anyway, right? Like, or any animation live action is I think that's a trend that needs to die a gruesome death, right? I think Disney's already tapped out all of their animated properties, so we don't have to worry about any more Disney live action.
They haven't done Pocahontas yet.
Or Finding Nemo.
Or Song of the South.
That's what I will manifest. The live action Song of the South. No, I don't want
live action Finding Nemo.
Wait, hang on. Is Song of the South also starring the RZA?
Oh no.
Just I wanted it to be known. Brandon Chalmers suggested.
Yeah, that the RZA just reacting to the rest of that cast. He doesn't actually have a role. It's just him wandering through every scene, just responding to shit. Yeah,
I'm down. I can do that. Yeah. That I'll do. I'll do.
What is going on over here?
The fuck.
You know what I want to manifest? Okay, if this happens, then I do wield a mighty sword on the internet. I want Rian Johnson to cast Kelly Marie Tran in Knives Out 2. That's what.
Oh yeah.
Make that happen.
Yeah.
Give us Rose Tico's redemption in Knives Out 2. Make her the Ana de Armas character.
Yeah.
Where she wins in the end.
Please tweet that.
Yeah.
Please start adding people and get that fucking trending and make that happen.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we've been. I think that's been a goal of ours for some time now. Yeah.
You have the power, my friend.
Yeah.
You can do this.
She deserves better than what JJ.
You know,
I don't hate him like I hate Mickey Rooney, but JJ is on the list, man.
Lucasfilm struck down my Rose T-shirts on TeePublic, so those aren't available.
Oh no!
So you have a collector's item.
Nice,
Jamie. We may need to.
We should make them.
We may need to revisit how to do that.
Make them underground.
For the next.
Fucking make them anyway. Just print them and just don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Are you trying to say we need to just do some iron transfer shit before the next con?
Just like
maybe. If we're going to do another Rose Parade.
Yeah, like if I need to wear a comically large backpack for you all to sell shirts out of on the floor as we just walk around, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kelly Marie Tran and Knives Out 2. That's what I want to see happen. If that happens, then I will accept. I will stop being Jon Snow. I don't want it.
I don't want it, brothers.
Oh, the Eternals trailer. That's another thing. We talked about Chloe Zhao. I'm geeking on that. Seeing the Eternals, because like I don't know the comic at all, but that movie, and I was actually out on the Marvel universe for a minute. Like even Shang-Chi, I'm not that excited. I'm excited for Tony Leung,
right? Because he looks amazing in that.
Yeah. But Eternals, I don't know. That's pulling me back into the MCU.
The one thing I will shit on about the Eternals thing, those are all Jack Kirby. That's a Jack Kirby design. Nowhere in that trailer, no Kirby dots. There are no colors in that trailer. No weird fucking armor that doesn't make sense. No, like, I don't know. It should be weirder. I feel it should be weirder. That's just.
I mean, Ragnarok, I felt like got the Kirby-esque stuff better than this did. And I was a little disappointed that DC canceled Ava DuVernay's New Gods movie because I thought that might look 'cause she talked about how she loves Big Barda and
weird like Kirby shit.
The Kirby third, what is it? Not third world. Is it third world? No, it's fourth world.
Fourth world.
Second world.
But then they canceled it. So. And then doesn't matter.
We need on-screen Kirby dots. I mean, they did it in Spider-Verse. We just need live-action Kirby dots. I don't know what they look like, but when I see them, I'll know what they look like, and it'll be amazing.
I think Ragnarok is the closest we ever got to like Kirby on screen.
Yeah.
But so hopefully Love and Thunder looks a little more Kirby-esque. But I mean, but either way, Eternal still looks fucking gorgeous without the Kirby dots. So I'm geeking on that.
Cool. All right, Brandon, where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at @thatguychalmers.
Keith, where can people find you?
I am on Twitter at @TheRealChow, _real_Chow, and follow the Nerds of Color at the Nerds of Color. Follow the new podcast, Shelf Conscious, at ShelfConNOC on Twitter, and subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube.com/the Nerds of Color. See,
he's better at plugging his shit than we are.
I need notes, boss. I need notes.
The one thing you haven't given me credit for on the podcast is I've been making all your fucking thumbnails for you for like the last year and a half.
Yeah, they are gorgeous. They're amazing.
They are fucking funny.
Your thumbnails are so good.
My Facebook feed probably fucking hates me because like I'll share the one that Jamie posts. I'm like, shit, I want to get it out in the world, and then you end up hitting us up with another one. I'm like, is it pretentious of me to want to share it again? Because I really like the thumbnail you put in.
Dope.
What? This is the life question, Jamie. Do I post it twice, or do I post it
twice.
just the once and wait? Wait, hang on. If I post it twice, is it gonna get tamped down for all their algorithm bullshit?
Who knows? So post it twice.
Fair enough. I'll post it
and
a bunch.
For whatever it's worth, I don't even know when the shit goes out until you share it on Facebook, and that's when no one gives me a heads up when that's going out anyway. So please continue posting when it goes live, so I know to make the thumbnail.
Oh man, you can find me on Instagram, Jamie Noguchi. It's Cicada Watch, so as long as the cicadas are out, I am taking photos and posting them. Twitter, Angry Zen Master. Wherever you find this podcast, the YouTube, all that kind of shit, all that good stuff. All right. Keep wearing masks because you should. And that's all we got.